G'day guys, this is your lovely host, H2O Queen. I hope my Dream Team family and viewers are well. If you're interested, I stream on Twitch every Monday, Friday and Sunday. If you want to come and find out more about my schedules, come and click on the link below. And if you want to perhaps give me a cheeky follow, that would be amazing. I have a pretty positive and chill community. So I made a video last week. It was the wheel creation video, and I went, and someone left me a comment in my YouTube video stating that it was a Generation 7 Pokemon, and I did not know Pikimiku. I did pick it from Gen 7. I honest goodness thought it was Gen 8. Obviously I got my contents confused when I was going between different types of Pokemon. So, in order to amend that, I took some time off and put some real thought into it as to what I can do for Divani's Gala contest that he's got going on right now at the dueldb.nl website. If you want to go click on the link in the description below, not only to go to Divani's website to find out more about the contest. So as you guys who have played Sword and Shield before would be able to recognize the thumbnail, the Pokemon I have picked are Zation, Zamazenta, and Eternatus. So these Pokemon synergize really well as a team of 3. I, honest to goodness, couldn't just pick one or the other. I definitely had a strong connection with Zation and also Zamazenta. They seemed like the perfect duo, and I really liked Eternatus being that shadow typed Pokemon that would be like a yin and yang of them both. And I think all round that these wheels are well balanced. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my wheel creations, and hopefully you guys will like it. Let me know. So I'm going to start off with Zation. I made this a 2 MP figure and a UX type, which makes sense considering I have found that as the game was coming towards the end, we had a really strong push with a lot of UX figures. And since Dawnwind's Necrozma, Necrozma UX, and even Solgaleo were all UXs, I really think Zation and Zamazenta really did fit under this type. So they are a fairy steel, and their main ability is called Intrepid Sword. So the ability works like this. So for the next 6 turns, including this Pokemon's turns, will deal an additional plus 40 damage onto Poison Dragon types. This ability resets when this Pokemon exits the PC. The purple attacks of Pokemon within 2 steps of this Pokemon decrease. Minus 1 star, decreases 1 star. However, if it's just a 1-star Pokemon, it doesn't change that. It just remains the same. And I thought that was very important to note that, because I didn't want people to be under the misunderstanding that anyone with a 1-star would become nullified and have no stars. It doesn't work like that. But we do have a really, really nice sword dance. I thought that worked really well. Dodge was just a nice little touch, although it can be very annoying, especially if, as you know, what happens when a Pokemon gets a status effect, and most figures that have blue, their blue slice will turn into a miss. So I thought all around, if there's any status effects going around, it's going to really impact Zacian's wheel. So even though we've got Sword Dance, as you guys might know from former Pokemon, you spin again until an attack other than Sword Dance is spun, and the damage attacks deal 2 times damage. So if Sword Dance lands onto Bullet Punch, it becomes 80 damage, and if it lands onto Behemoth Blade, it deals 220 damage. So let's have a look at Behemoth Blade. On the opponent's next turn, they deal half the attack damage. So I thought this was really interesting attack to have. I didn't really stipulate, so this would apply to whether you're being attacked into or attacking, and this would be a really great disadvantage, especially this is more so meant to be working against Eternatus. Both Zamazenta and Zation are, and so a lot of the wheel construction has been based on that. So all in all, Zation is quite straightforward, and even though that bullet punch can seem quite weak, but considering that Swords Dance is like nearly a quarter of the wheel, as long as it doesn't land miss or dodge, it really has a good chance of dealing some whopper damage, and it's not often you see a Pokemon dealing 220 damage. Considering this Pokemon is a legendary, I think it just gets away with it. My next figure is Zamazenta, who I also made a 2 MP and also a UX type. So they are a fighting steel type, and their ability is Dauntless Shield. The gold attacks of Pokemon within 2 steps of this Pokemon become white attacks. This Pokemon gains 1 purple star only if attacking or being attacked by poison dragon types. Again, we're trying to pump up Zamazenta and Zation to be able to successfully counter Eternatus, but also Eternatus to counter these figures. So hopefully I've balanced all 3, but as you can see, Zamazenta is quickly turning into an iconic Dawnwind's Necrozma. I tried really hard to make it different from Dawnwind's and not having such strong attacks, but at the same time we needed a heavy purple figure, and I don't know, it's not that amazing, but at the same time it has a lot of weaknesses, more than it does with Zation. Zation only has 2 miss slices, but with Zamazenta there is now 3, which is really bad. And again, as you know, any Pokemon that have a blue wheel slice, if the Pokemon that has this blue wheel slice gets a status effect, that also becomes a miss slice. So that essentially means that this figure is this wheel is 36% or 24% miss, with a possibility of a 12% miss of this status effect. So it has a lot of weakness, and especially confusion. If this Pokemon gets confused, it's rendered useless, especially if it tries to land Behemoth Bash. So I tried really well. Behemoth Bash is one of Zamazenta's special move, just like Behemoth Sword is to Zation. So Behemoth Blade, this is a 3-star purple move. The opponent's Pokemon is knocked out and sent to the PC. This Pokemon gains 1 weight. So instead of, like it was with Dawnwind's Necrozma, actually the opponent was just purely knocked out and sent to the PC, and there was no consequences thereafter. The move was unleashed. I thought we'll put this Pokemon at a disadvantage and let it gain weight. This also is a perfect thing for Eternatus. You'll see Eternatus wheels later, but you'll see why it syncs so well and also can become Zamazenta's weakness. And Zamazenta also has Push Away, and this Pokemon knocks the battle opponent 1 step back and claims its previous spot. So it's similar to Fake Out but not quite. So instead of switching spots, the opponent's Pokemon replaces your position and then you are pushed backwards 1. So it can be a very interesting strategy, especially if the opponent is coming down on the board and might have a 3 MP figure, and if you are pushed one away from the goal, the opponent could very well take the goal next turn, which is really bad. And then we also have Iron Head for 160 attack damage. And then of course we have the beautiful Bullet Punch, and that one deals 80 damage. It is a weak attack, but considering it has so much going on for itself, I thought it made sense that it did have some sort of weakness. And you can see how heavily this will consist of misses and stuff like that, because we can see how heavy the purple is on this world. But I thought that this would make it so lucrative, because as we know with Dawnwind's Necrozma, it's the main reason it killed the meta. So I still wanted a figure to come in that was OP, but also wouldn't be something that would take over the meta. And they were all factors that I took in. And then we'll conclude with Eternatus in just a second. And you can see how all three Pokemon interlock with each other. So last but not least, we have Eternatus, who's also a legendary Pokemon along with Zation and Zamazenta. So again, they are carrying on the 2 MP and UX typing. They are Poison Dragon. This Pokemon will never gain weight of more than 2 turns. So if it is having weight stacked against it, it cannot gain more than weight of 2 turns. So that is its cap, is always 2. So this kind of gives it a little bit of an advantage on the field, considering with Zamazenta's push away with it gaining weight, even though it's only for 1 turn. But there might be other figures on the field that would cap weights or increase the weights, and Eternatus will be able to bypass that and perhaps edging its victory, which I think is really interesting, and could either go for or against it depending on what is happening with Zation and Zamazenta. So we're starting off with its Will Slice Toxic. So the battle opponent becomes Noxious. Again, we have a very similar Will Slice. We have Eterna Beam, which is Eternatus' strongest attack. So this, the opponent's Pokemon gains weight for 4 turns, including both opponent and your turns. This Pokemon gains plus weight. So as you see here, if this Pokemon lands Eternatus, there's already a disadvantage gaining 1 weight. So for example, if it gains another weight and another weight, it gets to bypass those and it won't get penalized for that, meaning it'll have more opportunities to attack. So I think that's really cool. And then again, I've put in 2 4% dodge options. Again, you know what happens with status effects, and that those will become misses. And I didn't think it was too OP all round. I really liked Venoshock because it works in synergy with Toxic, because Toxic lands Noxious, and how Venoshock works is that it will deal double the attack damage if the battle opponent is poisoned or Noxious. So instead of just dealing 90 attack damage, which would seem like a weakness, in fact it would be dealing 180 damage, which is quite whopping when you think about it. But in reality, Toxic is only doing a 1-star attack damage. So that's also really, really bad too, because coming up against another figure that is 2 MP or higher, it has a higher likelihood of being knocked out. So its only real Will Size that's going for it is Eterna Beam. But then we have its next attack, which is Dynamax Cannon, and it deals 160 damage, and it doesn't have to worry about status effects for it to be dealing that attack damage right away, which is really important. So if this Pokemon has weight 2, this Pokemon's attack damage is doubled. So This is where it becomes really crazy OP. So if at any time that this Pokemon has a weight of 2 when it is attacked into, because it can't attack while it has weight, you're going to have to watch out for that Dynamax cannon. Now, it is only a 12%, but you know, anything can happen with 12%. If it has confusion, the mist could land into Dynamax, you know, RNG, etc., etc. So if you've got Eternatus resting on the field, not unless you feel really confident or daring, you really don't want to attack into Eternatus. And that Dynamax cannon is a really turn off for Zamazenta and Zacian to attack into this figure. Even though we know with Zacian, who had that gold wheel slice, but it's still not a guarantee though that Zacian's going to be able to knock out Eternatus. You know, anything can happen because, as you know, with Zacian, it is doing Swords Dance, so it is not as great. And again, if we go back to Zamazenta, even though it has some really nice purples, it is nowhere near as well built for Eternatus, but it does have the ability to increase its purple stars. So that's only if it doesn't have a status effect applied to it. So there's a lot of factors involved all around for all the figures. I'll just take you back through them now again. So that is all the figures. So that's Zacian. So Zacian relies heavily on Swords Dance in order for its attack damages to become effective. And Zamazenta is a heavy purple figure with just that slight bullet punch. And then, of course, we have Eternatus as well. And yeah, I don't know. I think the synergy is there for all of them. I don't think neither are too strong or too weak. All have their weaknesses and their strengths. But again, like everything, strengths can become weaknesses and weaknesses can become strengths. So I would be really interested to see how these figures would play out on field, especially coming from Generation 8s. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and please smash the subscribe bell. All your support is so much appreciated. Again, thank you guys for my onwards and upwards with my subscriber count. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much everyone that is commenting and also liking my videos. And if you haven't done it now, please go ahead and go and subscribe, follow and comment. I really appreciate all of your feedback. It helps me to grow as a content creator. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of my creative figure. And if you had to pick one, which one is your favorite of the three? Is it Zacian, Zamazenta, or Eternatus? This is your bubbly host, H2O Queen, over and out. Peace, love, light, and joy. Enjoy the rest of the day. Take care, guys, and thank you so much.